Hi, I'm Jill Fieldheim, and I teach kindergarten at Hoover Elementary School. I love stories, and I'm so excited to share stories and story structure with you today. We're going to be learning about the plot, characters, and the setting of a story. We'll be reading stories, listening to stories, and even watching some stories with no words. You might see me work very closely with my husband, Mr. Darryl. Oh, he looks like a giant. The reason why this is okay during this time of coronavirus is because he and I are part of the same household. The first story that I want to show you is a story with no words. Oh man, that was fun. I'd love to do this again with you. Would you do the balloon story with me this time? First, let's get our bodies warmed up because we have to use our bodies to tell the story since we don't use words. Music, please. Stand up wherever you are and shake your fingers. Wiggle out your body. Pretend it's like a cooked noodle. It's so loose. Here we go. Shoulders up and down and up and down and up and down. Good. One, two, the other, super fast. Shake your hands, shake, 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 swing them back, forward. Shake, 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 swing them back, forward. Shake, 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 swing them back, forward. Shake your whole body. Good. And roll down, head, neck, chest, waist, hips, all the way down. Come up, hips, waist, chest, neck, and finally your head at the very end. Again, head, neck, chest, waist, hips, all the way down. Come up, hips, waist, chest, neck, and finally your head at the very end. Stretch your face, and shrink it like a prune. Ooh, 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 to this side. Ooh, other side. Ooh. And up, and down, and up, and down. Now forward. Dong. And push it back. Forward. And push it back. Ooh, that was good. Shake your hands out and stretch your fingers and relax them. And stretch them and relax them. Stretch them and relax them. Good. Now, let's put our fingers around a glass of something really delicious to drink. Think about what could you drink that's so delicious? On the count of 3, let's shout it out loud. 1, 2, 3. Banana strawberry smoothie. What was yours? Let's go ahead and drink it. Oh, can you show delicious with your body? Oh, delicious shoulders, delicious face. Let's get the last drop. So good. Now, we're going to have to make it disappear, though. Take your magic fingers, and on the count of 3, we'll make it disappear. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Poof! There it goes. All right, we are ready. Thank you, music. Perfect. Now, we're ready to do the balloon routine together. Sometimes when a story is silent, I call it a routine. So the first thing you do is you make a pocket. Put your hand on your pants. Even if you have a real pocket, you could have a pretend pocket as well. Put your other hand inside that pretend pocket and pull out a balloon. Show everyone how stretchy it is. Stretch, boing back. Stretch, boing back. Now we hold it up to our lips and blow. You can show the shape of the balloon getting bigger and bigger with one hand. There, you could even show it for a minute with both hands. That's the nice round shape. Now, you take it away and you tie a knot in the balloon. There it is. Now you take your hand back into that pretend pocket and you pull out something long and dangly. String. Tie the string around the balloon, and because it's a magic balloon, it starts to go up. Can you bring your hand below, up and below, and it shows that you're raising, the balloon is going up on a long string, but then you get to the end of the string and it keeps going up, and notice I'm lowering my body a little bit as my hand goes up to kind of show. Then if you can kind of dangle there and then look below, oh, maybe you see your house down below. Maybe your parents are looking up at you going, what's going on? And you can wave to them, hi, Mom, hi, Dad, I'm up in the air. And then you pull on your balloon and make yourself come back down. Pull, 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 and land. Oh, well, that's the problem, isn't it? The balloon keeps going up. Oh, my goodness. Try to solve the problem by tying the balloon to your knee. There. We're thinking, that'll solve the problem. Uh-oh, and up goes our knee. Pull it back down, untie it. That's not going to work. How about tying it to your elbow? There, that ought to solve the problem. And can you make your elbow go way up above? And you're dangling again. Pull it back down. Oh dear, that's not going to work. How about tying it to your waist? Oh, that ought to do it. Yeah. Whoa! And can you make your belly button go up? Oh dear, that's not going to work. I wonder if there's other places where you could tie your balloon to. Maybe a pinky, or the top of your head, or even a big tooth or a toe. You could make up your own places to tie this balloon to. But in the long run, we can't keep it from going up in the air, so we have to get out our scissors. It's good to show everyone the scissors before you use them, and then we cut it, and we watch the balloon and wave goodbye. Yep, we solved the problem. Good job! When I see a story or hear a story that I really love, I love to talk about it to a friend. And when I talk about the story to a friend, usually I start by talking about the plot. The plot of a story is what the story is about. What's the plot? What's the plot of a story? That's what it's all about. The beginning, middle, and end. That's what it's all about. There's a problem and a solution. That's what it's all about. What's the plot of a story? That's what it's all about. I find that when I want to remember something, if I sing about it, it really helps my brain remember it. Would you sing it with me one more time? That would be so awesome. Ready? What's the plot of a story? That's what it's all about. The beginning, middle, and end. That's what it's all about. There's a problem and a solution. That's what it's all about. What's the plot of a story? That's what it's all about. Awesome, thank you. So let's think about the plot. We start at the beginning, then talk about the middle, and then talk about the end. So at the beginning of the balloon routine, we found a balloon in our pocket and we blew it up. Then in the middle of the routine, After tying a string, it kept pulling us up into the air no matter what body part we tied it to. And then at the end of the routine, we cut the string and waved goodbye to it. So now we also think about the problem and a solution. Every good story has at least one problem and solution. What was the problem that we had with the balloon? You're probably thinking it kept pulling us up into the air and we wanted it to stop doing that. And so that was the problem. And then we tried several solutions. We tried to tie it to different body parts, but those solutions didn't work. So we had to have metacognition. That's a fancy word for thinking about our thinking and often changing our thinking to solve the problem. And when we changed our thinking, we got some scissors and cut the string. That's the plot. Now that we know what happened in the story, let's think about who was in the story. Well, when I showed you, it was me. And when you acted out the story, that character was you. The character is a person or animal in a story. Let's sing about it. What's a character? Characters are people or animals in a story or a show. We want to know their thinking. We want to know their feeling. We want to know the places where they go. So if someone asks you, what's a character? Tell them you know that characters are people or animals in a story or a show. Hey, let's sing that song again. Will you sing it with me this time? Get your hands ready to do the motions too. Ready? Characters are people or animals in a story or a show. We want to know their thinking. We want to know their feeling. We want to know the places where they go. So if someone asks you, what's a character? Tell them you know that characters are people or animals in a story or a show. Awesome! Now that we know what happened in a story, that's the plot, and who was in the story, those are the characters. Let's think about where the story took place. That would be the setting. And of course, I have a song about that too. What's the setting? The setting is the place where the story happens. The setting is the place where the story happens. In the kitchen, outer space. In the forest, it's the place. The setting is the place where the story happens. Will you sing it with me this time? Oh, I would love that. Ready? The setting is the place where the story happens. The setting is the place where the story happens. In the kitchen, outer space. In the forest, it's the place. The setting is the place where the story happens. Awesome! So honestly, when I did the balloon routine or story, I kind of did it with a chalkboard behind me, almost like I was in a classroom. We could choose for this balloon routine to happen probably anywhere we want. I would think it would be best to choose a place outside because it shows the balloon going way up high into the sky. So maybe the setting for your balloon story could be in your backyard or at the schoolyard or in a park or maybe at a carnival. You get to decide. Good job talking about the plot, the characters, and the setting in the balloon story. Now, I have a friend named Mrs. Hoover, and she is going to show you another silent story with stilts. Those are tall legs. The story is called The Tall Ballerina. Let's watch.
realmente sí, sí cuesta trabajo, cuesta trabajo. A ver si no se enoja la persona que me ahorita venía a reclamarme.
Wow, that Mrs. Hoover, she had a lot of problems and solutions to solve just for her to get up on those stilts. Let's go back and think about what happened. She comes out, she tries to put the stilts on her feet, and oh, that's right. The first thing that happens is the stilt slides out to the side, and she has to really work hard to get back to the chair to put her second stilt on. Then she had trouble getting up on stilts, and she had to ask Mr. Darrell to help her. Then, oh my goodness, she was trying to dance to the ballet music, but instead first a rock and roll song came up, and then a Mexican radio sports commentator came on. Oh my goodness. And then do you remember how Mr. Darrell solved the problem for that one? He pulled up the antenna, and that was the solution to get the ballet music to finally play so that she could do her dance. So many fun problems and solutions. Well, guess what? I want to tell you who the real Mrs. Hoover was. She really was a real person. Her name was Lou Hoover, and she was a first lady. She was married to President Herbert Hoover, who's the namesake of the school where I teach, Hoover Elementary School. Mrs. Hoover was an incredible woman, one of my heroes, actually. When she was growing up, she lived in a world many years ago where women and girls were not encouraged to play sports. They could not compete, and they weren't encouraged to be active outdoors. Well, Mrs. Hoover loved the outdoors, and she thought, well, that's not fair. And so she used her power and status as the First Lady to bring some changes. She was a powerful advocate for women and girls to be represented in sports. You can thank her if you can compete in track competitions now, if you can, all those women who compete in the Olympics, you can thank Mrs. Hoover for helping pave the way for those things to happen. And guess what? Is anyone out there listening a Girl Scout? Mrs. Hoover helped found the Girl Scouts. I am so grateful of the changes that she made, especially for girls and women in our country. Guess what? Mrs. Hoover said that we could look closely at one of her stilts. I have it right down here. Oh, look at this. Do you see how it's wood here? And then bolts, and then see how there's a tennis shoe bolted right into the wood. And then I'm going to get a little bit closer so you can see here. Do you see down right here? The wood continues. In fact, the wood goes all the way down to the very bottom. There's rubber so that she doesn't slip around when she dances. And look at these point shoes. These are real ballerina point shoes that came from the San Francisco Ballet. Professional ballet dancers have to throw away their point shoes after only wearing them a few times because they get broken in and too soft. And so Mrs. Hoover was able to collect some real ballerina point shoes to put on her stilts. And this is supposed to be her calf muscle, and it's squishy foam. How fun is that? I wanted to show you another kind of stilts that don't strap into your feet that way. They're a little bit safer to practice on, and something that you could even make in your home. As you can see, it's a long piece of wood with a triangle wedge-shaped piece of wood that I glued and then used screws to attach. And then I put rubber at the bottom so that I wouldn't slip. Here's how you walk on these kinds of stilts. You put your arms through the middle like this, so you have chicken wings, and you want to make sure your thumbs are in front. Then you press them against your side so they don't wiggle around. You put one foot on the stilt, and as soon as you put the other foot on, you start to move. Step up, step up, step up, step up, step up. And that's that. So much fun. I used to walk around my neighborhood with these. I loved them. Walking on stilts was so much fun. Well, we have looked at stories that had movement and no words. And now I want to read you one of my favorite stories that does have words. I'll need my reading glasses to read this story. I brought my book in a picnic lunch basket. Why? Because the book looks like a hamburger. This book is called The Sensational Sam Burger by David Pelham. That picnic thief is such a pain, Samantha sobbed. He's struck again. She looked at Sam, eyes red and swollen. My hamburger, it's just been stolen. A teardrop trickled down her cheek, and that's the second one this week. Her brother frowned in disbelief. We'll get back at your burger thief. Cheer up, sis, this could be fun. First, we need a nice big bun. We'll fill it with the world's worst meal and leave it for the thief to steal. What do you think you could put in a hamburger that would make it taste so bad you would never want to eat it again? First, Sam cut the bun in two. I think we'll start with Mom's shampoo. I've often thought in many ways it really looks like mayonnaise. Sis groaned and turned a little pale as Sam dropped in a slimy snail. A burger isn't worth a nickel if it doesn't come with a pickle. A fancy candle through a slicer, 10 pickle rings. What could be nicer? And Sis has found a real spine chiller, a great big juicy caterpillar. Ooh. Samantha gave a wicked grin. Let's dig down through the kitchen bin. She found an old egg deep inside, soft and cold and lightly fried. Now Sam slipped out, and on the wall, he's found some nasty, creepy crawls. Ooh. Sam's busy cutting cavities inside some soap that looks like cheese. I know just what we need, Sis said, and skipped off to the garden shed. Dad's fishing friends are the McTaggarts. For bait, they all use big, fat maggots. Ew! Maggots are baby flies. They look like worms. What can we use for ketchup, Sis? I've got it here, Sam. Look at this, her poster paint. The red, of course, looks just like thick tomato sauce. They watched a ghastly thing approach and popped it in, a huge cockroach. Did you see that splat? I'm going to show you again. Look how it jumps. Woo! I'm glad I'm not that burger thief, Samantha grinned, 'cause here's the beef. Cat food, yuck. Well, just a slice, and maybe mustard would be nice. And like Miss Muffet, there beside her, Sis had seen a great big spider. Ooh. Sis scratched her head. Where can we get us something green that looks like lettuce? Sam rummaged through the kitchen grunge and found a thrown-up, wash-up sponge. Poor sis! Sam watched her writhe and squirm while wrestling with a giant, can you guess it? What rhymes with squirm? Worm! There it is again. And now some onions, just for fun. He put the top back on the bun and rubbed his hands. Oh boy, it looks just like the real McCoy. Samantha smiled. That's pretty neat. It sure looks good enough to eat. They put the burger on a plate and settled down to watch and wait. But then Mom called them for a snack, and the bun was gone when they got back. That thief will be so sick, Sam smirked. Sick as a dog. Our plan worked. Oh, there's another worm inside. Can you see it? Oh, yuck. Meanwhile, not too far away, Rex mused. Another perfect day. He licked some shampoo off his paw. I like that little girl next door. She leaves me food. She's such a pet. That burger was the best one yet. Oh, so who was the thief? Rex the dog. Oh my goodness, did their plan work? Do you think Rex is never going to steal another burger again? Nope, he loved it. That was his favorite one. Oh dear, I guess they'll have to solve the problem in a different way. I had so much fun sharing stories with you. We saw some stories that had movement and no words. And we also saw a story that had words and even pop-out pictures. Thank you for watching Medford Anywhere Learning TV.